Hi folks, Team for Vin's Not So Senior Assistant, the old man here, back at ya. Today we're gonna take a look at my top 10 favorite decks to play, and a lot of my top 10 favorite decks they either are based off of a certain theme or off a certain playstyle. So, with that said, let's get started. My first starting with number 10 is gonna be Rika. If there's two things I like, it's one of those two major things I like are things themed after ice. So Rika, I love their mechanic to tribute either to both your monsters and your opponent's monsters and my monsters, and at the same time I like the art style and just how they plus off just their main mechanic. Next up on the list we have Madolche. When Madolche's first came out, I really liked their art style along with the recurring theme with sweets and their sort. It's not really stitch punk, but they have if you look closely at their artwork, they have some stitchings along their limbs and such, and I just really like that aesthetic and the way that they recycle themselves whenever they would get sent to the grave from either your opponent's effects or by a battle, was something that I thought was really nifty. Next, moving up from the list at number 8, we have Makashi. Makashi, I really liked that they were based off of the sort of the yokai the yokai night march, and I really liked that how they scaled how they would. It was just a simple synchro climb. And at the same time, you could have also branched off a different build, from going with either just pure Makashi, going off either just the pure Makashi, or you can just simply mill out your opponent's deck first turn. Moving to number 7, we have Weather Painters. Weather Painters, I know was just looking at them, they're confusing, but when you got the hang of them, when you got the hang off of their mechanics, where you give them their additional monster effects with the back row support, and then couple that with cards like the kaijus to get rid of your opponent's problem monsters and just continuously bounce them off the field. That was something that I really liked doing. I really liked trolling my opponent using those effects, and I really liked their concepts where there was just an artist for each type of weather. That was just something that I really liked, and when that deck originally came out, I liked that they were the sort of not really antithesis to magical bullets, but I liked that they sort of like countered that, if that makes sense. Next up on the list we have Cyframe Time Thief. It's not a deck that I debuted just yet, but it's a deck that I'm currently working on, because one of the other things that I like, aside from ice themed archetypes, are psychic type monsters. And then the one thing that originally I tried to build, I was going to build just Cyframes on their own and Time Thieves on their own, but I already had so many decks that I'm already managing. I thought, why not put the two together? And I really liked how they came out. If you want to see that, go ahead and comment down below and let us know. Moving further up from the list, we have Cardians. Cardians. What I really liked that they were based off Hanafuda, and I really liked how Konami designed the mechanic down to how Hanafuda was actually played. That was one thing that I really liked, both from a technical aspect and from an aesthetic aspect. And then I've played Hanafuda before, and I've grown to love it. Other games that I would like to see Konami make into an archetype, or continue making into an archetype, is the shogi archetype, because I know they've briefly touched into the Shogi archetype, but they never went full out on it. It was just literally 3 support cards. Next up on the list was, back before they became tier 0, was Spiral, specifically my Bamboo Sword build, because back then, when Spirals first came out, I couldn't think of a way to get the Spiral support out on the field in time. So I thought, why not combine them with another engine? Why not the Bamboo Spiral engine? And then I went further with the Bamboo Spiral engine by using, I think it's a Soul Devouring Bamboo Sword to not only get the draw power out there, but also perform the Yada lock. And that was something that I found hilarious. I didn't think it would work that well, but it was just funny. I might actually think about putting that back together again. Going up to number 3 now, we have Mech Knights. Mech Knights, of course, psychic monsters. What's not there to love? And then I love their whether or not it's relatively easy to summon is kind of goes from person to person, but especially with the new support now with or not new support, but especially with the recent not so recent especially with the release of Girsu, things got much easier for the Mech Knights to start to actually do first turn initiate. And I really liked taking the control aspect of them, that meaning specifically column control, because column control Mech Knights was something that I really liked. Was something that I generally enjoyed playing. Now, next up on the list, I'm sure you were expecting this, but Ice Barriers. I'm really glad that Ice Barriers finally got support after how many years? Literally the last support I remember them getting was prior to the Ice Barrier, but now that Ice Barriers have gotten their support, their new support with the structure deck out, it makes some of the old builds that I used to play, General Rush, Spellcaster Control, Spellcaster Stun, and just the great Ice Barrier Wall more viable. And then last but not least, we have, of course, just plain old psychics, simple. I used to play the original OG psychics religiously. Now I do just a mishmash of all general psychic types and just hope it works out. For the most part, it's kind of 50-50, 60-40, but it's still in my heart my all-time favorite deck. So that's it for my top 10. Let us know if you want to see me rebuild any of these decks or any of my notable mentions, and then we'll see you next time. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and stay safe.